What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
That's right, guys, and another night here, hump day. Getting through this, hoping no new injuries on the practice report. We'll talk about that and more here. Of course, our defense versus this San Francisco offense and how efficient they are. We're going to talk about it all tonight here on MCF. So before we even get into all that good stuff, baby, we got to shout out those that make the thing go around here on My Cowboys Family, and the sponsor of the week, all the way from Hawaii. Also, yes, the stream boss as well at 91 points. Sponsor of the week, Marco Seppian. Much love to you. The all-time streak, by the way, 15 in a row as a sponsor of the week. And then Snug X, who's right now got his own streak of 8 in a row on that Cash App board. Again, he's getting close to that record. 20 is the record there by Jason Renfro. Speaking of Jason Renfro, he's repping in the gifting membership side because he is the king of that gifting membership this week. I appreciate him for the ability to give 6 new Navy Blue crew members now a chance to drop those emojis and participate in some of the other perks that are given to all the memberships here. So much love to Jason Renfro last week. This week, talk about some of the leaders in the house. You got Skeptical fans staying skeptical. Oh, he's got a lot of leads here. He's got a 1-point lead there over the Lunatic for that gifting leader board. Much love to him. You got Skeptical fan. He's the current, I think he's the overall leader, yep, as of right now. But a couple people there creeping up behind him. So, again, appreciate the man staying skeptical. Always in the house here. Maybe trying to get back that gifting domination he had for 3 months here on MCF. Now, we also have the leader in the Cash App. And that leader is the Lunatic, which is fitting for what we're about to talk about here in a couple of minutes. Much love to the Lunatic.
Go to beat your Cowboys.
Hell yeah, go Cowboys, and appreciate him. And he's got a special little raffle you see at the bottom right. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, we'll talk about the memberships. You got that Navy Blue Silver, but then you got that Star and the Over Everything levels. So we got to do those nightly shout-outs for that side of the family, which, that's the nightly perks here. You're part of the sponsorship, part of the crew here. So without further ado, let's do those shout-outs.
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, the Top Dog, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, The Lunatic, and of course, Over Everything, Snug X.
Yeah, Snug X. He is in the Over Everything level. Was on our show last month. He'll probably be coming on next month if he's still in that level. And that's one of the extra special perks there on that membership crew. Of course, Star level and Over Everything level also in a membership level coming up either this week or next. We're still kind of figuring it out. But it is our monthly Star and Over Everything level membership raffle. Monthly jersey raffle. Sewn and stitched jerseys. Cowboys Mosh. Much love to him. And again, these are fantastic, authentic-like jerseys, old, new, different styles. You call it. You basically a lot to choose from is what we're saying for the winner on the monthly. Hopefully different winners, or it could be the same ones. Jason won the last month. We'll see what happens this month. Much love to everybody there and the Over Everything and Star Level membership. And then let's also talk about different ways to drop the love here on MCF, not just Super Chats and gifting memberships, the thanks button, and jumping in the memberships yourselves, right? We also got 4 of the ways to drop it in the Cash App side for that crown.
Well, of course, you have the money sign, My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a Super Chat.
Yep. So, wrapping all that up, baby, now it's time to talk about that raffle here that we got from the man, the Lunatic, a Week 5 double jersey raffle. We just talked about those sewn and stitched jersey raffles that we're going to have here on the monthly. Well, this is a special one here this week. Only this week to join into this raffle, right, baby? And to get in this thing, again, you have 2 winners. 2 separate jerseys going to be raffled off for 2 separate winners whoever's entered into this. Maybe break down how they can get into this raffle. With, again, get these jerseys sewn and stitched. We talked about the different styles, and it's actually all teams, all sports. If you wanted something outside of the Cowboys, we repping the Cowboys and that Star here. So, baby, how do they get in this if you want to be in the raffle?
Oh, of course, you drop $10, bam. You are automatically entered, and membership does have its perks because you do get an additional bonus entry if you are a part of that navy, blue, silver, or star over everything.
Yeah, so as long as you activate it by jumping in with the 10 total, you get the bonus membership. I mean, the bonus raffle if you're in navy, blue, silver, star, or over everything side of things. So that's where you max it out, guys. You get the best chance to win one of these fantastic jerseys. Much love to the Lunatic for making this happen. Puro pinche Cowboys. Go Cowboys.
Ooh. And of course, guys, we have to do
them nightly shoutouts.
The shoutouts for everybody here chilling, hanging with us.
Oh,
Jason
but first,
Renfro
let's kick it off with Jason
on the
Renfro.
official side of things.
Yeah.
With $1 holler.
Let me guess. I go Cowboys.
You know it. So thank you so much, Jason. Putting a little quarter in the jukebox here.
And he kicks it off, baby. So, again, guys, that builds right there, by the way, for Jason Renfro, who currently, that's his first drop of the week. So that technically he's 9 away from hitting the raffle entry. He's in a star level, so that would give him 2 raffle entries once he's in past that $10 holla mark. So anyway,
I'm glad to see that you finally got your internet situation all
that's great.
Squared away. Man, that's been a rough 2 weeks.
Glad to have you back here, Jason Renfro. Much love, Mr. Renfro. And baby, who else in the house tonight?
We have El Fuego 2.0. Much love to you. Shout out. And yes,
Fuego.
We have Skeptical Fan always.
You know
Staying
it.
skeptical. Dropping those emojis, by the way. Drop them if you do, guys.
Anti-San Fran. You know it.
So, let me roll back a little bit more. Justin D in the place to be. Yeah, Justin, usually it should say in the email who gifted you the membership.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it says it.
Yeah, it'll say
Does
like
it?
you got a gifted membership from so-and-so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Mine that's usually said it from the channel. Like from the channel you are getting it from.
Yeah, but mine usually does say the person I got it from. But yeah, either way, huge shout out to whoever it was that gave Justin D that gifted membership. I'm assuming it was probably Skeptical Fan, since I know he's leading it so far this week.
Yeah, he definitely has. Well, Skeptical's got
on the gifted membership side of things.
I think Skeptical's got 5, but the Lunatic's got 4, and the Boogie got 2. So it could be any of those guys. Either way, much love to whoever gifted it.
So let me keep rolling back here. James Her in the house. What's up? Bo Smith. Much love to you. Stephen White in the house representing. Baldo Salazar. Shout out to you as well. James Payne. Oh, speaking of, Bo Smith looks like he just got into that MCF membership because Jason Renfro said, hold up, wait a minute, gotta show the love. He gifted a membership right there.
Woo.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Congrats to Bo.
Appreciate you, and shout out to Bo. I always do like it when it gifts the membership to someone who's actually here in the chat.
Yeah.
So,
Bo Smith in the house. Appreciate him for chilling here with us. That's why you got the membership. Congrats, and extra special thanks to Jason Renfro, who, by the way, as I put him on the board in the gifting membership as well, he's, I think, a couple away, right, from getting in this membership and in this double jersey raffle.
Yeah.
Big winner last week.
Oh.
I mean, I'd say last month for the star level, right?
Yeah. So let me go back and make sure I didn't miss any shout outs here. Let me see. Griff181, James Herbo Smith. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. So Stephen White, much love. Thomas Garrett, the superior.
Yeah.
Garrett. Just trying to see here. Freedom first. Hey, you were actually first this time. Good for you. So, Skeptical Fan, much love. He said, I got a gifted membership on a Viking channel because I was in there when they were playing the Eagles.
That's funny.
Oh, you gotta use it against them, try to troll them. Right? Just like Frank Moyer won a membership here.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, much love. But he is.
He's an Eagle fan, right?
New territory, yeah. Yep. So he's only allowed to drop the Philly Suck movie.
Who dropped that one, baby? Who gifted that one?
The Lunatic, the man, the myth, the legend, Puro pinche Cowboys.
Much love, the Lunatic.
Also showing the love and the representation.
By the way, I forgot to say, he did drop enough for yesterday with that 5 on it. I think he put in there, he's now got another person if he wants to put into the raffle, plus he's halfway to another raffle entry if the Lunatic wants to throw that to somebody else in here. So, again, the Lunatic, who's now tied with Skeptical Fan with 5 apiece in a 2-way race right now. Indian Boogie right there, and Jason Renfro right behind Indian Boogie.
Ooh, so
I'll finish fixing the board here.
No, you're good.
Keep doing them shout-outs,
baby. Let me see if did I get everybody? I think I did.
No.
Scorpio in the house. What's up? James Hurd, the Lunatic. Yeah, at least on my side, I think I had gotten everything here. So hopefully everyone is having a great night, a happy, I would say, Wednesday, but now it's Thursday. So at least on our side.
The Lunatic's getting close on the top of the board as well. So maybe going for that sponsor of the week. Remember, guys, we have a new thing for the sponsor of the week. Why don't you remind them every week, right? We have 4 winners a month on the sponsor of the week. We're going to have the winner of the month, the sponsor. I guess we'll say the sponsor of the month, and we'll have a drawing, right? 4 names, and we do a raffle. Tell them what they can win.
Yeah, we have some awesome MCF exclusive gear.
Yeah.
So,
Cowboy, of course.
Your choice. But yeah, so whoever does get that kind of lucky win there, we're going to be doing that entry once a month. So every week, whoever the sponsor of the week is, their name will get added into the total for that month. So, for example, right? So Mark Hosepian is currently the stream boss. Bam.
No, not stream boss.
The sponsor of the week. Sorry, wrong leadership situation there. He is the sponsor of the week and the stream boss, which is why got those two back and forth. But yeah, so his sponsor of the week representation is the one that's getting him that entry, and so on and so on. So you guys will see it in action here in a few weeks. It'll probably make more sense then.
Yeah.
So with that said, though, I think what always makes sense.
Talking some football.
Talking Cowboys, right? Aztec Aguilar, Eric Wallace, much love to you all. Take it easy. By the way, Fuego, the best of luck to you tomorrow morning.
Yes.
With that court situation. Don't let the man keep you down. So, baby, let me hand things off to you. Oh, I spoke too soon. Because Jason Renfro said, hold up, wait a minute.
Oh, $1.90 holla.
Woo.
What did he say?
Go Cowboys.
Hell to the yeah. And by the way,
emphasis on the Go Cowboys.
By the way, with that right there, you see as on the top of that board goes that CeeDee Lamb. 88 points from Mark Hosepian. Still repping that stream boss. Much love, Jason Renfro. Again, inches closer to another. Well, not another, but an entry for this raffle, double jersey raffle here by the Lunatic.
Yep, another one.
Hey, much love. Anybody else? I'm sorry.
So immaculate, much love. Yeah. James Hurst said, gotta stop the run, stop those quick play actions down the middle.
Exactly. We're going to talk about that right here tonight. Don't worry. It's coming right at you here in a couple of minutes. Go up first. Let's talk about another gifted membership. Big Flock 91. Congrats. Who gifted this one, baby?
Justin D is showing the love, passing it along forward by sharing a membership here with their other family. Thank you so much, Justin D.
Justin in the house. On the board there. Much love to him. I'm going to get him on that board now. Who was the lucky winner again? Oh, yeah.
That was a Big Flock 91.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to... There we go. Drop those emojis in the chat. I will say, I do definitely like these better than our previous iteration.
Oh, you mean of the Niners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The Niner ones from last time are not as good as I think these are, but always can look for more.
Yes, we definitely have to beat the 40 Winers. Again, we all, I think most of us, pretty much everyone, I think, has been looking forward to this game in particular. I saw James mention that earlier in the chat, just saying, this is the game we've been waiting all season for so far.
No question.
So, hey, this is the Super Bowl measuring stick.
Well, it's definitely the elite. I'd say the elite team measuring. If we can hang with them or beat them, and I do mean either way. I'm not saying it's a victory if we stay close game and we lose. Obviously, we want to win, but yeah, I mean, it'd still be a good measuring stick of where we land if we can play well, and I hope we beat this Niner team.
So let me see. Oh.
What was that?
Shout out to Eric Wallace. He just dropped... That was the Lunatic who dropped a $2 holler. But yes, Eric Wallace shared his 4 months of membership here representation.
Did it box it out?
Thanks to whoever gave me a subscription.
Oh, there you go.
So, hey, the MCF family here really loves to show the love, and we really appreciate it as well. It's like we said, it is one of the better ways to drop the love and show the love here, just because it's an easy way to support MCF and show the love to the family as well.
Yeah, you got people in the house here now also get memberships, can drop in. Sometimes some of them want to stay in longer, they can do that or upgrade. But there's the perks to that. Like this week, you're gonna see it. If people get in there with 10, you get 2 raffle entries if you're in the membership, even if it's been gifted to you. So keep mind of that, and hey, get up.
By the way, Justin D said it was the man, the Lunatic. who gifted him his membership.
The Lunatic,
so
yes.
Good to know. Thank you so much.
Again, in a tie.
Shout out to the Lunatic.
Yeah, the Skeptical Fan and the Lunatic in a tie for first with 5 each. Andy and Boogie in third place with 2. Jason Renfro and Justin D with the place to be, both with a tie for fourth with 1. And then Justin D also on the overall board after that drop in there in 9th place, right behind Jason Renfro. So the battle continues here, and appreciate everybody showing the love. And with that special, those drops there, Mark Hovsepian to that 87 Jake Ferguson time. You know what I mean? So, we will we'll touch on things. Again, if you guys want us to mention something, you can do that. Like the Lunatic just did with that $2 holler, J. Lou style. What did he say, baby?
Skeptical fan said...
The Skeptical fan?
Yeah.
Oh, it says the Lunatic.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why is it so delayed?
No, I don't know. I
don't know why. Just because Skeptical fan dropped I don't think we did, just because it hadn't come through on the chat here. I thought it was Skeptical fan's $2 holler who he just dropped. But let me roll back. The Lunatic said
that
Dallas 24.
Out. That's what happened. Or it came after it. That's why.
That's why I was a little confused. So, but it's okay. It's okay. That's part of the fun of live streams, right? But the Lunatic said Dallas 24, San Francisco 17. Big boy football. Dallas Cowboys for life.
You know
the Lunatic. If we could win by a whole ass touchdown or more, oof, man, I'd be so happy, so happy, because I generally think it's going to be a 1-point game, a 3-point game.
A lot of the analysts out there are kind of giving you the score of like a 3 or 4-point game. Some of them a 1-point game with the Niners usually winning. I think 90% of the analysts picked the Niners. That's okay. I like to be an underdog here. That's the Cowboys kind of thrive at being an underdog, especially when it's time to kind of turn the page on a team that's been kicking our ass. This could be it right here, guys. I remember this back in the 90s, early 90s when it was the Niners as well. In the playoffs, though, to go to the Super Bowl, we had to overcome it in their home after they were kind of beating our ass in the 80s. And that page-turning event happened that day. And hopefully this can... Now, I don't think it's obviously far from the same thing. If you've been there, you know it. But it's kind of like a preview of what could be if the Cowboys get that confidence off of this game. There's Skeptical fans, $2 holler right there. The J. Lou, too. We had the Lunatic. We have Skeptical fan, Marco Seppian, to 83 points, Jalen Brooks. But what did Skeptical fans say?
I don't want a moral victory over the 49ers. 27-24. You see, I'm still trying to percolate what I think my score prediction is going to be, but I do kind of agree with most of the analysts as far as it being a 4-point game or less. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to win
1, 2, 3,
or lose
4,
by like 4, by 3, by 2, by 1, like something like that. So,
I got you.
Imagine this game going into overtime. So, not necessarily in a happy way, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So, anyway, Jumps and Cowboys, Asmodeus, Kenzie Bands, Stone Immaculate, all you guys. Appreciate you all, baby. Let me hand things off to you so we can kick things off on the official side of things.
Yes,
right?
And appreciate all the drops so far. Gifted memberships, we'll track that whenever you guys drop that. We'll get into that then. Right now, let's get rolling on the news, info, and updates. NFL news first. Colts today officially opened the 21-day practice window for running back Jonathan Taylor. A lot of people want us to go get him. No, not going to happen. But, again, he's out there now. Been on the PUP list since the beginning of the season with a quote-unquote ankle injury. He's supposedly now 100% healthy and ready to contribute. We'll see. Sean McDermott from the Bills, head coach, officially announced that Von Miller is now opening that 21-day practice window as well. And he will be out there practicing this week. So, again, progression for the Bills defense. I've been listening to this. They're good already on defense. Very good. But I'm here when he comes back, it's kind of like, I don't say as good as Micah Parsons, but it's a big boost to that defense, which is already very good. So, Von Miller, keep an eye on him. Now, here's when we got to – that's for the future for Von Miller in December for us when we see them. But we're going to see literally the Rams in person when we go there with us, the kids. We'll be there in AT&T Stadium for the Cowboys-Rams game in a couple of weeks. But the Rams today opened the 21-day practice window for wide receiver Cooper Kupp, which we knew. I told you this. He's going to be there for the game. So at least we might be the first game he appears in against us. Cooper Kupp is supposedly, though, the word is he's pushing to play against the Eagles this week. The Rams want to use Kupp on the deep over routes, and we'll test it out to see if he can go or get at least close to max speed in practice this week. But again, the injury is not as serious as they feared initially long-term wise. So good news for Cooper Kupp. He should be back maybe even before he plays us, right? So we'll see what happens there. Big trade happened today when it came to the Patriots. We just finished playing the Patriots. Patriots traded for a guy they know. Chargers defensive back or cornerback, J.C. Jackson. Does that sound familiar?
That does sound familiar.
J.C. Jackson used to play with the Patriots, on the Patriots a couple years ago. It's a reunion now. Compensation is a swap of late round draft picks. Pretty sure it's like a 6th for a 7th or something like that. So J.C. Jackson, who's a really good corner, has been slowed down by injuries, I think. Patriots do get some cornerback help now, a guy they know.
Which they desperately need.
Yeah, after they lost Christian Gonzalez, you felt the absence there against the Cowboys, and they've lost their other cornerbacks as well. So speaking of, Christian Gonzalez likely to miss the rest of the season. That was just updated today with a torn labrum. So,
damn, I mean, we kind of suspected it wasn't great.
It's supposed to be a couple months.
Now it's just kind of confirmed.
Sounds like it's the whole year.
Done for.
So not good for him. Hoping the best for the young guy. Cowboys just play the Patriots again. They did not have J.C. Jackson in that game against us, right? And in Week 6 we play the Chargers, who was their number one guy. It was supposed to be J.C. Jackson. He's been a healthy scratch recently. Chargers will be, of course, not with that cornerback, so they'll be maybe a little weaker at cornerback. For the Chargers in a couple of weeks, we'll see. But that's Week 6. I do want to make one more mention about J.C. Jackson. I'm pretty sure this was recent, a couple of weeks ago. A warrant was issued for J.C. Jackson for robbing the Chargers of $83 million and violated his probation. That's a joke, guys. I'm sure. But I do think that there was an appearance in court. He did have an issue with a probation violation last Friday or a couple Fridays ago, from a 2021 arrest for criminal speeding. Just going too fast. But again, nothing major, just, I
know, but you have to really go out of your way to fuck up to get arrested for speeding.
Yeah,
so,
but
I'm just saying,
it's usually about 20 miles over the speed limit or something like that. You can get arrested for that.
Yeah, or depending on
state and
if
county
it
and
was
all
a
that.
school zone or a hospital. That's what I'm saying. Part of it depends on the overall speed, but part of it depends on the location too, because you can speed over 20 miles an hour somewhere and get in trouble for reckless driving or something, but this seems a little bit more.
And
so
then,
I'm guessing.
And then he didn't show up. He didn't abide by the rules. Now he got in trouble again. But look, the Chargers said, "Here you go. Give us a 6th rounder. We'll give you J.C. Jackson and a 7th rounder. Give us a 6th rounder, and we're done." They paid him a major contract, big time money. I mean, he left in free agency from the Patriots. Now they get him back on I guess not a cheaper deal money wise. They still got to pay him. But it's split up. That contract is split up between them and the Chargers.
Yeah.
And they get a guy they know who still they believe has talent and value. He was, like I said, I think he was a healthy scratch last week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. So they didn't. I think they had another guy, a couple guys stepping up. Oh, Jason Renfro in the house here. 29-month shout out from him. His monthly shout out. What did the man say, Mr. Jason Renfro, rocking the spot?
Thank you, Jason. He said, "Time to put it to rest that we can't beat the 49ers. Because it's going to be a big defensive battle, and it's going to be a low-scoring game. I have the Cowboys by 3 at the end, so let's go Cowboys, get this win, and send us to search for 6 and beyond."
Let's keep it going. Navy Blue Silver Star, and we want that 6 and beyond. Yep, Jason, I agree with you. We just got to, to me, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a point where maybe we'll be down by 6 or up by 2. But we can't blink on that, and we got to keep going because I believe it's going to be a battle back and forth, and it will be something where we have to. It's going to be moments in that game we got to take full advantage. Even if we play perfect, it's still going to be a close game. So keep that in mind. Now, much love, Jason Renfro, and Mark Hovsepian to 82 points right now on the Stream Boss. Now, here's the last kind of non-Cowboy news, but this is actually Cowboy related. Randy Gregory. Remember, we kind of we're not able to sign him because of language in the contract with the Cowboys. And the Broncos signed him for a large deal. He got a 5-year, $70 million contract, $28 million guaranteed. Randy Gregory was released by the Denver Broncos, believe it or not. That's major.
That's a rough one.
Phil Biotino, I think he took a lot more snaps, and they want to move him to the starting lineup. Gregory was just not fitting there. Here's what happened, guys. Here's what's crazy about this situation. That they want to focus on young players. Gregory's now a free agent. 5 years, $70 million, $28 million guaranteed. He only played 10 games in 2 years with the Broncos. He had 6 starts in 2 years. He produced 2 forced fumbles and 3 sacks with 11 tackles in his time with Denver. Now, again, reiterating this, he had signed a 5-year, $70 million contract. That would have been a big ripoff for the Cowboys. Especially, maybe the Broncos aren't just using him right, but he's been slowed by injuries. He's had some issues there, I guess you could say.
You can say some of it goes to the scheme or the usage or whatever, but it sounds like it was a multifaceted issue between his injuries, between their front office problems and stuff, between them changing their scheme. So
remember, the reason why he didn't come to the Cowboys, we offered the same exact deal. The Joneses wanted him hardcore. They drove for him hardcore, but the reason they let him go was because of the, I guess you could say, voidable guarantees in his contract that if Gregory gets in trouble with weed, whatever the reason is, he's still under the, even though it's legal, it's basically illegal in the NFL. But if you're on the grandfathered situation where you have been in trouble in the past, he still has to abide by those rules. If he fails the drug test, they can take his contract. So he made a business decision, which I guess he's kind of right there, and went to the Broncos, and they gave him that language that he wanted in his contract. So that was the reason why we never got him here, guys. The Broncos made the modifications in the contract to make him happy. And listen, they still got to pay him now. You know, he's going to be owed money from them. So in light of Gregory's kind of having his playing time reduced, he's okay again, and he's not even starting right now. A lot of people were seeing already that he's not a good fit with Sean Payton in this situation. The new staff, Sean Payton likes the young talent on defense, and he asked for his release recently, Randy Gregory. Sean Payton slept on it, and he decided it was best to let Randy Gregory go. Broncos also tried to trade Gregory at the last minute. He made $14 million last year. He had a guaranteed $14 million this year. He played in 10 games, like I said, only 3 sacks. The knee injury in Game 4 last year led to in-season surgery. Of course, that knocked him out. And then this year was healthy. Like I said, guys, Nick Bonito and Cooper was out there, too, for the Broncos. They're getting more snaps than him. So that's why they didn't even want to put him on. They didn't want to even, I don't know. They'll probably put him in the practice squad if he goes through waivers. But right now, we'll have to wait and see. Now, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, that's the question at hand. So, should the Cowboys bring back Randy Gregory? There's people that say, no way we should bring him back. The Broncos let him go for a reason. Broncos' defense is terrible. He still couldn't even crack the starting lineup too much this year. Cowboys dodged the bullet with the 5-year, $70 million offer. But I agree, but we don't have to pay that money now. Would you want Randy Gregory on here? Now, again, there's another thing that says, well, no. You know why? Well, the Cowboys usually don't bring back their own players. But the Cowboys may not want to deal with the agent of Randy Gregory that kind of they felt maybe try to undo the contract,
maybe
so to speak.
Relations with Randy Gregory are just a little too sour to want to revisit them, right?
And specifically the agent as well. Gregory's departure, again, was some of the language the Cowboys always have in every contract. And maybe the agent didn't make that clear to Randy Gregory, but the point was, the agent made it sound like he was getting like Randy Gregory was getting screwed, and he jumped ship. So that's one of some sayings on this. I don't know if you guys agree, but there's also the other side of this, which says, number one, the Gregory move is part of the business of the NFL. But Randy Gregory is still a talented guy. He's a fantastic player, and been said multiple times, even in Dallas, that he's been a fantastic teammate as well. So to see a guy like that go from, be a free agent now with the talent he has is, sad. But different coaching staff here now in Dallas and with some of the defense. Not of course, still Dan Quinn there. So that's a big thing there. But the Cowboys themselves, I'm going to talk about Dan Quinn pushed back then to keep Randy Gregory on here. That's why Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones went for him so much and went for the 5-year, $70 million.
Yeah, they trusted Quinn.
So if they wanted to get him 2 years ago, why wouldn't they get him now? Or try to make a move? I'm just asking. So what do you think, baby? I want to know your 2 cents.
The only thing I can think of is something happened between those 2 years to make either Dan Quinn / our front office say, actually, we don't need you, and we don't want you, and we're perfectly fine without you. So,
I think you can. I would be happy if the Cowboys put him on the practice squad, pick him up on the practice squad if he goes through waivers. I'm sure. Listen, I'm hearing multiple teams are interested in him right now, so he'll probably get picked up by somebody. I doubt it's the Cowboys, but my point is we have a lot of pass rushers. The thing is, what they always say, you can never have too many pass rushers. So I'm waiting to see what the Cowboys are going to pull out of their hat with this. Are they going to try to make a run at him? Are there too many issues that they even know about or they don't want to know about when it comes to Randy Gregory? I would say if you got a chance to get him on your team, get him on your team on a cheap contract, which is exactly what's going to happen. There's no way anyone's going to give him a big contract, and most of that money he's making this year is still guaranteed. $14 million. He's getting paid. You can pay him $2 million, and he'll be very happy with that. He'll be able to play in the NFL again. So
Jason Renfro, representing. Much love.
Dollar holler.
Holler there. Another Go Cowboys.
He's getting closer.
And then just because I'm not sure if it boxed out Mary Alvarez's drop, but with her $5 holler, she said, Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing great. God bless you all.
Much love, Mary, in the house. Go Cowboys. You know the deal here, Mary. I don't think it went through yet, baby, so I see that it looks like a little delayed tonight, so we apologize. It's
and I was going to say, it seems like it's a bit of a YouTube side of things, because internet-wise, I know we're good, and based off the comments and stuff you guys are saying, I don't think it's like a...
Oh, there it is.
YouTube delay on that side of things, right?
I think you're right.
So, although maybe the drops are just coming West Coast time, right? Maybe we're just too far ahead, right, Mary? Much love, by the way, with your $2 holler said, "Oh yeah, and go Cowboys."
Hell yeah, go Cowboys.
Always.
Much love, by the way, Mary almost jumped the lunatic right there. He's getting closer and closer to the lunatic, and he's moving on up this board here, guys. Appreciate the man, the lunatic.
So
I know he's getting close to. I think he's 8 away. Am I not wrong? I think on another. He's already got one other person he could put into the raffle, but he could another one. 8 more, I think, is for another one for him.
Oh, so no, talking. Young Dunlop said we most definitely need linebackers. Again, the way that we are using our defensive backs makes our linebacker situation a little bit more tenable. So, if anything, I think we'll probably end up just grabbing another hybrid safety who can do both. So,
yeah, I mean,
just my
that's kind of the way the Dan Quinn defense likes to run, right? Likes to use that.
So,
Mary is still behind the lunatic. I just wanted to throw that in there since I was updating the board as you were getting a couple comments in the chat. Now,
no, of course.
Randy Gregory wise, any other comments from the chat on that?
Yeah, Lost in Translation said we get a linebacker back with Randy coming back. Parsons slides back to linebacker. With a bit of a little kind of
I know, tongue in cheek there.
Yes,
but I get it. Dan Quinn's sticking with Micah from here on out. So yeah, I think that's the way it's going to stay. But I hear you. I guess the emergence of I don't want to say that's what forced Dan Quinn or the Cowboys say we can live without him because of the Micah move. Maybe that's what, because after that first year they used a lot more Micah. So maybe that was because of the fact that we didn't have Randy Gregory anymore there. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that pans out for the Cowboys. So now, I think, if I'm not mistaken here, I'm back on it here. Let's get to the Cowboys because we did do a bunch of stuff today that's important. And it started off with Mike McCarthy, all right? Big bubble, as we like to say, during the COVID days. But Mike McCarthy, guys, again, trying to get this red zone shit fixed, spoke on the Niners today a little bit. And he said, quote, about Brock Purdy, the quarterback for the Niners. Quote, I think the biggest thing is that he has total command of the offense. He's playing a high-level football his whole life. So big, shout-outs to, well, not shout-outs, but Mike McCarthy giving a big shout-out to Brock Purdy.
Props.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy also spoke about some of the injured guys here. Tyron Smith with the knee, Zach Martin with the ankle and the quad, Micah Parsons with the knee. All are going to be limited today is what he said. Quote, Micah Parsons also good to go. End quote. Great stuff there. It's great to hear that. Mike McCarthy also talked about Rico Dowdle, running back with the bruised hip, and Peyton Hendershot with the ankle. They said both of them were going to be held out of practice, both of them with the rehab group, which, I mean, again, we kind of, Hendershot, we're still watching with the ankle, right? Dowdle, we know it's the bruised hip. We'll see how that continues there. But that's what McCarthy said before the practice. McCarthy said that neither Nashawn Wright at cornerback with the ankle issue or offensive tackle Matt Waletzko with the shoulder issue there. Both these guys, of course, on the, they're both on that injured reserve. They were on the injured reserve to start the season, meaning you missed the 4 weeks. They could come back this week. McCarthy said neither guy will have their 21-day practice window activated this week. Both are still on IR with injuries that are not season-ending. So I think we have a buffer of 4 to 6 more weeks. We can keep both these guys in the back burner. If until maybe, again, this sucks, but an injury happens, we can throw one of these guys on there. McCarthy also said that the Cowboys are starting to integrate more, quote, veteran rest days on Wednesdays going forward in the season.
Which makes sense considering where we're at.
Yeah, a lot more resting
season, right?
So and it makes difference, by the way, for tonight, because tonight's discussion, because a lot of Cowboys on the injured list, most of them are getting a rest day. Yes, baby, hit it up.
Yeah, all good. Mary, The way this one works is a little bit different. Once you drop your 10, you're entered for it. So you're in the membership, you get that bonus entry. But that's basically, there you go, you're in it.
Well, you can see. Oh,
so there's no like stacking entries or things like that for this, double jersey raffle that we've got going on right now. So
the lunatic style, right?
Yes, it is. The lunatic style. We got to represent on this 40 Winers week.
Hell yeah. Big game, biggest game of the year, not just for us here, or for the Niners, but for the NFL. Let's be real about it. So this weekend, probably about halftime, you guys got 10 total in there, and you're in the membership. You got 2 entries for a chance to win one of these 2 jerseys. And if you just want to get in it, you don't want to get in the membership, that's fine. But 10 to get in. There you go. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So back to McCarthy, back to the practice, I guess you could say. Really done with McCarthy, because that was it for McCarthy as far as his press conference. It was quick today, guys. How was practice today for the Cowboys? They were playing some Nipsey Hussle out there before this trip to Cali, obviously, California. Nipsey Hussle. They play a lot of the stuff you hear in those cities, so you're hearing the Cowboys play some of that, some California love, on and on and on. Some going back to Cali, whether it's Biggie or LL Cool J. Anyways, guys, so as McCarthy said, a lot of guys getting veteran rest days, right? Other guys working back from injuries. Several players not at the practice, seen at the practice today. Zach Martin with the quad, Tyron Smith with the knee, Rico Dowdle with the hip, Hendershot with the ankle, CeeDee Lamb, DeMarcus Lawrence, Stephon Gilmore, Jonathan Hankins. All these guys were out of there. Most of them had a veteran day, their rest day. Rico Dowdle was working on the resistance cords with the rehab side of things, and Britt Brown. No Peyton Hendershot there, though, this time. Both were supposed to be out there today. Pollard, who was seen on the field, of course, doing his thing as normal, was knocked out of the NFC divisional round game against these fucking Niners in the first half of that game last year in the playoffs. This week, no pun intended, but hopefully he gets another crack at this team that unfortunately ended his season last year. Also, number 52, newly signed linebacker Michael Jones. He's out there running around the field, already getting integrated into the practice squad side of things. When it comes to the injuries, again, injury reports came out, and I'll tell you about it here in a momento.
Because right now, we got to shout out the momento. Jason Renfro just dropped a $1 holler there. A classic. Go Cowboys once more.
Yep.
I appreciate you.
Another one.
You know it. So, and again, Kevin 213. All good. Just glad to have you here. Let me see. Bye week after the 49ers is much needed, said Stone Immaculate. Look.
No, it's not a bye week. It's after the Chargers are next, and then it's a bye week.
Yeah, I was going to say, what we do get is an extra day of rest and recovery, which will hopefully go a long way. Since we play that Monday night game, hopefully that goes a long way towards making sure we're 100% good to go. And after that, yes, our bye.
Now, much love to everybody in the house, by the way. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter at MyCowboysFamily, all social media at MyCowboysFamily, the Discord, and on and on. You know what to do here, guys. Much love to everybody in the house. And as we continue this thing, let me just quickly hit up the injuries. Let's talk about it. On the actual practice report, what was Micah Parsons on this? He was limited with the knee injury. So good news there. Again, we got him on the field. Micah, like McCarthy said, he's good to go. No worries on Micah's knee with that issue he had. Now, what about Zach Martin? Zach Martin had a veteran day today, rest, but it also listed the thigh, which means he got an injury on that thigh from the game. Did not practice at all, which we knew he wasn't even on the field, right? What about Tyron Smith, which we know he's the guy that's iffy, according to Jerry Jones yesterday. Yeah. Tyron Smith was, of course, on the list, did not practice. He also got a veteran day of rest, but also, of course, they mentioned the knee, which he heard last week before the game of the Cardinals. So, we know this is going to be tough for him to play in this one, in my opinion. And Rico Dowdle, running back, we talked about him. He was on the resistance cords. He was listed as did not practice. Again, we knew this with the hip. So all this is expected. Now, there's a couple other names here we're going to throw in here and just kind of say, wait, what? Let me explain. Damone Clark. No rest day for him. He had a shoulder injury and was limited. So I don't know if he heard it in practice today. Because when you're limited, usually that means you heard it in practice if you haven't been injured from earlier in that. That's something to keep an eye on. He had a great game against the Patriots. All right, you got Chuma Edoga with a knee issue. We know this for a while. He had the elbow, then the knee. Full practice again. He's going to be good to go for this one, guys. You know it. Stephon Gilmore getting a veteran rest day. He's good to go. Did not practice. That's just precautionary. Peyton Hendershot was not on the field. Didn't practice with the ankle. Malik Hooker, got to watch him. Shoulder injury. Limited in practice today. Similar to Damone Clark. We got to keep an eye on him. And CeeDee Lamb was listed. Again, he was out of practice yesterday with DeMarcus Lawrence. And then he was out again. Again, we saw him out of practice today. I'm sorry. Both CeeDee Lamb and DeMarcus Lawrence were out. Why? Resting. DeMarcus Lawrence did not practice. CeeDee Lamb rested. Didn't practice, but it mentioned a knee. So that's something to keep watch as well. I talked about Zach Martin, talked about Micah, and of course Tyron Smith. Probably the main guy is going to miss this thing. Now, they also added Jonathan Hankins afterwards. Jonathan Hankins was also added to the injury report as an NRI, which is, non-injury related, in a rest day, a veteran rest day. So Hankins, good to go. He's safe. Don't worry, guys. They add him to the injury report. It's just to show that he did not practice today out of rest day, veteran day. So good news there for most of our guys. But again,
just make sure he has the proper designation.
Yeah,
so to speak.
I want to make sure Damone Clark we keep watching. I want to make sure, of course, Peyton Hendershot and his other guys here too. But to me, Damone Clark, Malik Hooker, CeeDee Lamb's knee a little bit there. Keep an eye on those three guys. As we get out of this, this first day, we're gonna keep an eye if they progress. They become limited, and then they, full practice. They're good to go. So that's the hope here going forward. Now we also have, I think we got, I didn't see it pop up. I looked on my phone. I see Jason Renfro.
It feels a little bit extra slow today.
Yeah, Jason Renfro got a dollar holler about to drop. Mark's going to go to Tyron Smith, 77 points on the stream, boss. Any quick comments on the injuries, the things going forward, injuries, the players I just talked about in the chat?
Yeah,
if not, we'll keep it going.
Said Mike with his politics.
Right?
Now,
they all have politics, unfortunately, right?
You know it. So, let me see. Rolling back here. I just want to make sure there it is.
There it is.
So, perfect timing.
And by the way, it looks like he's officially now in the raffle, but Jason Renfro's moving on up here. And let me move him up the board as you take a couple quick questions, and then we're going to talk about Tony Pollard holler. Because, again, remember, Pollard he was a little bit limited last week. They're trying to relax his kind of workload this week. Last week, we'll see if that continues. Full practice for him today, though. So, baby, what did I guess we already talked about Jason Renfro and the Go Cowboys. Who else spoke in the chat tonight here? You could make a comment on a couple of the injury stuff, I guess you could say, if you find that.
Let me see here. No, just kind of rolling back here. We kind of touched on most of the major stuff. Like I'm just saying, because most of the comments right now are actually about the schedule and what our schedule kind of looks like these next few days/weeks. So
Jason's in 7th place. NDM Boogie goes to 8th place on the overall board. I wanted to make sure we update that. And again, you guys are in the raffle as well on those names I just mentioned.
Yeah. So Fuego 2.0 cracking me up. He said, "Shit, our fan base is something else. The Cowboy fans don't get along well with one another at times. Like on Twitter, one shows love and support, but it just doesn't get returned."
I'm telling you. It goes both ways, right? We want to see them get, move forward and, do the things that make the team better. Sometimes we see situations they can do better, the front office and such. Sometimes they get the shit they deserve, like the Garrett crap. But right now, I think the Cowboy front office is, 180 compared to their usual antics in the offseason, and they did a good job this offseason. In my opinion, McCarthy got to get the red zone fixed. We got to secure the run defense. We do those things, we're on our way to be one of the better teams, one of the best teams of the season, for no question. So, I don't know if there's any other thoughts or comments maybe, but let's keep it moving here because we got a little bit more to go. And Tony Pollard spoke today, guys.
He sure did.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about the expectations for Cowboy fans against this Niners game in Santa Clara. What did he have to say, baby, when it comes to TP Tony Pollard?
He's saying, quote, "I'm expecting them to show up and show out.
Come on, Cowboys.
We travel a lot, and I feel like most times it turns into a home game, so we definitely need to show the fans to show up and show out."
Hell yeah. And, in this game, Pollard's also looking about how frustrating it was, thinking back, how he got knocked out of that playoff game against the Niners in January, right? I mean, what did he say? I mean, he's frustrated, but what else did he say?
Yeah, he said it was frustrating, especially when I got hurt. We were in the red zone about to score, driving the ball.
The next play was a pick.
Yep, we had a good drive going, and then that killed the momentum. I kind of felt like I had let my team down, and it hurt. You're so invested. You have so much invested into the season. You know you've got goals, and you know who you want to be. But it hurts once you get cut short like that.
And that's unfortunate. That did happen to us. And again, the only good thing I could say is that, will the Cowboys be able to maybe utilize their offensive scheme better? Moving down the field. Last year, it was an issue against this team. This year, we should be able to. I'm hoping we can move down the field. It's about the red zone, though. We'll get those points and field goals. We got to get the red zone scores and the touchdowns, right? So, when it comes to Tony Pollard, he's going to have to be getting blocks from our offensive linemen, specifically this guy. In my opinion, Tyler Smith, I don't know, kind of has a death grip. When it comes to his battling against defensive linemen. Listen to this. His overall grade, of course, through PFF this week, 93.1. That was number 1 in the NFL among all guards. Zach Martin was 5th among all guards. In 2023, listen to Tyler Smith's numbers. Offensive snaps, 2 games, 152 snaps. Pass blocking snaps, 92. Run blocking snaps, 60. Penalties, 2 total. 2 games. No sacks given up. No quarterback hits given up. No pressures given up. Domination there by Tyler Smith. And I think he'll just continue to get better. Especially the run game. I mean, he was Hall of Fame-like? I don't know. Now, in the red zone, baby, I think this guy also is one of those prime guys we should use. Listen, the right side of our offensive line with Terrence Steele and Zach Martin are both going to be facing the weaker parts of the Niners' defensive front. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But when we have that ball and we're in the red zone, we need to be more aggressive in the red zone. That's without a question in my mind. Aggressiveness in the red zone is going to be a need, and we got to have the play calling that matches that, right? Because aggressiveness without having plays, you know what happens if you have aggressive red zone actions by the players without the right plays being called or devised or schemed or
Sounds
designed?
Like that's a great, easy way to make mistakes.
That's what happened against the Cardinals at the end of that game. When Dak threw that pick, there was no one really to go to. Everything was covered. The game plan wasn't working in the red zone, and
we end up having a...
That's what sloppy play looks like there, right? So, again,
that's a great example.
It's going to cause a lot of forcing the ball into tight places if you have the similar game plan. McCarthy's got to go to the drawing board and fix this shit. So, listen to this. Red zone stats with the Cowboys versus the Niners, actually. Trips per game, average, into the red zone. The Cowboys are averaging 4.8 times in the red zone per game. That is number 1 in the NFL. Number 1, which means that and that doesn't count like the turnover against the pick 6 from Bland. That doesn't count the scoop and score by LVE.
Damn.
Off of the foul. I'm saying these are the things that
there's still stats that aren't even being factored into this.
Well, obviously, because this is how many times does the offense drive down the field into the red zone. Obviously, if we get a pick 6, there's no driving down the field.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify in case that gets misconstrued. Those are defensive touchdowns. That doesn't even count. We get a short field, something like that. Yes, that counts. But we've done a lot of this mainly with the Cowboys driving down the field a lot of these times. So we've had almost 5 visits to the red zone every game. That's what it comes out, 4.8. First in the NFL, the Niners, in their red zone, 4.5 trips. They're just 0.3 behind us, which means, guess what? They get to the red zone a lot as well. Now, they never really faced a defense like ours, but their red zone trips, they're tied for 3rd in the NFL. We're first, but they're tied for 3rd as far as the offense. Now, what about touchdown efficiency in the red zone? The Cowboys, 36.8%. That is 30th in the NFL out of 32. So, not very efficient getting touchdowns in the red zone. We are 30th out of 32. But we're number 1 at getting to the red zone. The Niners.
Yeah, so driving down the field and getting there.
No problem.
Not quite the problem. Sounds like sealing the deal is the problem.
But when it comes to the Niners, now they're 3rd at getting down the field, right? 3rd at getting down the field in the red zone. They're 7th best at touchdown efficiency in the red zone. They score touchdowns 66.7% of the time. We score it 36.8% of the time. It's literally the difference between 7th and 30th. So that's the key for us to even stay with this Niner offense of efficiency. We got to stay with them by making sure that we are also efficient, and we are, except in the red zone. So this is on McCarthy here. I would say this. Here's what I'm going to say. Aggressive red zone calls. Yes, running the ball behind this guy, but aggressive red zone calls, whatever that entails. Get induced. Get in there, Kevontae Turpin, and get the ball moving forward, not sideways. So, anyways, I'm not going to touch too much more on the red zone shit. We're going to go into the Niners now and kind of dive deeper into this with some comments from our Cowboy players intertwined here. But any quick thoughts on that maybe before we turn the page fully?
I mean, realistically speaking, I do think that consistency, again, regardless of where we're talking about, has been one of the bigger problems. So at least in a lot of ways, it's nice to see us trending in the right direction, even on the things that we suck at. So, no, like, because we're 30th in, oh my goodness, now I can't remember.
Touchdown, red zone of efficiency.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, again, pretty sure last week we were probably like 32nd.
Yeah, well, let me just say something. That's not good enough. That's not. I'm saying the trajectory is not very good. We're at the bottom already. We know where else but up. If that was the case, I know you're saying, baby, as far as efficiency, we are pretty bad. We are still pretty bad. 30th is horrible. It's as bad as you can get.
Do you expect? I mean, what's the expectation here, that we're gonna go from being the worst to being like ranked 10th or something?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that's what has to be fixed and improved by Mike McCarthy. That's all I'm saying. It's been simple. That's what we got to improve, because I think, again, I said aggressiveness is the key here by the offense, by having to, run the ball a little bit more forceful down there, maybe behind number 73 more often, maybe behind their weak side of their offensive line. We seem to go away from the run when we get down to the red zone. And I also think better design. You can't be aggressive with the same designs McCarthy has currently. So that's up to McCarthy to fix. If McCarthy don't fix the red zone scheme and plays and calls, aggressive ain't going to make a goddamn difference. Now, I do agree with you. More Dak Prescott running the ball in more efficient ways. You can get 4 or 5 yards rather than losing 2. Do that. And stop playing around. I'd stop playing games. I also say Kamate Turpin, Deuce Vaughn. If you mix these guys in, you got some weapons, and that means already you got, in my opinion, a more aggressive attack in the red zone. That's what I'm saying. I think we should see. I would hope to see, or whatever it takes. But I want to see whatever it takes. But that's my idea, is how we can get more aggressive in the red zone, and I think that's important. Running the ball, attacking down the field, not just throwing into the same fucking plays, but getting the ball in the hands of guys like Turpin, getting the ball in the hands of guys like Deuce Vaughn. And, of course, we got Pollard. We got Gallup. We got CeeDee Lamb fade routes to the corner. I mean, one-on-one matchups, press coverage. Let's do it. I'm trusting those two guys to come down with that pass. And, if they're one-man, single-man coverage there. So many different things we can do in the red zone. McCarthy has to figure it out. So that was my thoughts on that. I was hoping to you wanted to know why. I said that's why. That's the reasoning why for that.
Grip181 said, I don't think Tyler Smith will ever move back to left tackle. It looks like he's building an all-pro home at guard. Honestly, it sounds like that decision is also maybe taken out of his hands. Like, we've heard from our front office before that they don't like to shuffle around their offensive line guys, and, here's another great prime example of that.
Yeah, Tyler Smith, just the versatility is what's important here, but that's the Cowboys love that. Last year, freaking top guy at tackle. This year, top guy at guard. He's just a left side player, as he said. We got this guy, and you got to give credit to Will McClay and the rest of the scouts and Joneses and everybody for making this pick.
Yeah, so let me see. Red zone efficiency will get better. So better, else we're going to be in big, big trouble. So let me see. McCarthy needs to grow a pair, take more chances in the red zone, said Mike Aldana.
If like the plays are altered, right?
The things that get us down the field, that's great, that's awesome. But McCarthy definitely has to tweak his offensive game plan, because the same kind of careful conservativeness that gets our way moving the chains doesn't necessarily move the chains in the red zone, right? And
that's the thing. When third down efficiency in the red zone, we're one of the worst, but throughout the league, but anywhere behind the red zone, we're number 1 in the NFL at converting third downs.
Now, Jumps at Cowboys and MCF. Crazy. I've heard you mention McCarthy a few times tonight when it comes to the red zone, but many QBs call audibles and take control of the situation. Why can't ours do the same?
Because it's kind of what you said, baby. It's the conservative calls by McCarthy. You can't be aggressive. You're still audibling to another conservative call, is my point. So you got a conservative call here, slants. You got a conservative call here, run, A-gap. I'm saying that's his options off of what McCarthy's given him, and Dak can take control of those options, or I'm sure there's other options. They all seem conservative to me. We don't have a situation where there's, maybe when there's a man coverage on the outside, Dak then changes it to a fade route, and it works. But I think we got to, we'll have to see more of that when that situation presents itself. I think that when you are given a conservative game plan, it's hard to be aggressive just to pull it out your ass and just start being aggressive. I think everything is going to be covered in a conservative situation, even if you extend the play. It's hard. So, look, either way, I think that it's up to McCarthy to devise a better game plan, thought process in the shorter field areas that will hopefully help us be more, feared when we get into the goddamn red zone. Because right now, this cannot hack it. We cannot cut it. I think running Dak is another option in the red zone, not the whole way down the field. In the red zone, you can scrounge out some really good yards. And again, Dak on a one-on-one with a cornerback, good chance you can get by him again in the end zone. So there's always that. There's always a lot of options for the Cowboys with a lot of players we have. It's up to McCarthy to get more creative, not triple reverses, but get more creative with the players we have. And I mentioned 3 of them already. Turpin, Deuce Vaughn, and Dak Prescott in the run game. You start there, and of course, those fade routes to Gallup and fade routes to CeeDee Lamb, that shit works.
So, with that said,
all right, let's move it back here.
Let me actually take a second to remind everybody to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below. What's up, Wes Robinson?
Yeah, he's in the house tonight with us. Wes, what's up, bro? How you doing? Hope all is well with you. By the way, if anybody in the house wanted to get into the lunatic double jersey raffle. Again, it's Cowboys, but if you are someone from another team, you can pick. There's a lot of jerseys available. There's also
different sports.
Different sports. If you don't want a football jersey, so the Mosh Man gotcha. Double jersey raffle by the Lunatic presenting this here at $10. You're in this thing, sewn and stitched jerseys. You want to get a better chance to win. You're in the membership. Even gifted, if you get that membership gifted, you get a chance to double up that raffle entry, and then you get add a second one to that if you're in the membership. So here you go. I'm just going to give a quick shout out there to the Lunatic and everybody in the house here who's in that membership raffle or into that jersey raffle.
Yes.
Double jersey raffle. Anyways,
yeah, there's definitely a few things that are still, I would say, maybe stale, right, Mike? But we're freshening up, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dusting off the dust.
Well, we want 6. The Niners have had a chance to get 6 twice, I think, right? 2 times, 3 times, 2 times. I don't know. In the last 27 years, they failed miserably. So the Niners, we got to stop them from knocking us out of the playoffs. So right now, we got to knock them down here a peg or 2 in the regular season. Let's look at them real quick, baby, and break down their offense. First, the injuries. We talked about some of the injuries yesterday. They got some guys added to that. Dre Greenlaw on that list today did not practice. Elijah Mitchell, running back, talked about him, did not practice. And former Cowboy Shavarius Ward did not practice on Wednesday due to injury. Also still in concussion protocol, center John Feliciano. We talked about him yesterday. Again, I said linebacker Dre Greenlaw with an ankle. Christian McCaffrey was not injury related. He was a resting player. So, again, he was also out of practice today. Elijah Mitchell was out. Shavarius Ward out. Trent Williams also out. But, again, guys, did not practice because he was resting. Veteran Day, like you saw half our Cowboy team get there. When it comes to limited practice, Jawan Jennings, receiver with the shin, talked about him a little bit yesterday. And Deebo Samuel has ribs and knee. Also said to keep an eye on that. But we're going to talk about a lot of these guys who you're hearing them banged up on the offensive side. First, though, let's start off with Dan Quinn versus Kyle Shanahan. That's going to be the matchup here, guys. And, our defense versus their offense. Dan Quinn, for example, guys, we know the players make the plays on the field, but the true details come from the coaches. And Dan Quinn versus Kyle Shanahan, his old protege, It's going to be an interesting little back-and-forth chess battle. Now, Shanahan's an offensive-minded coach. Of course, Quinn's defense running it here. Dan Quinn has won a lot of battles versus Shanahan. As a play caller, you can say the last couple of years. Shanahan's offenses only scored 23 points and 19 points versus the Cowboys in the playoffs in 2021. Was it 23 points last year, 19? They're usually averaging about 25 points under Shanahan. So Dan Quinn is keeping them under their usual averages in both last years, right? 25.1 in that first year, 26.5 in last year. We held them pretty low with our defense, right? The problem has been the Cowboy offense. the offense. So not really scoring up to our own offensive averages. And the Dan Quinn defense giving up a couple big plays here and there late in the fourth quarter is why the Niners won that game in January specifically. Again, defensive genius mastermind Dan Quinn versus the offensive genius and mastermind Kyle Shanahan. It's gonna be a huge bearing on this game. Our defense versus their offense, who's been one of the best offenses and extremely efficient. So I know that, to battle Mr. Dan Quinn, it's Kyle Shanahan. He had some things to say. Interesting questions that were asked of him, starting off with how much can the Cowboys' Trey Lance realistically reveal to the Cowboys about the Kyle Shanahan offense? And what does Shanahan have to say about that?
He said, as much as most coaches can, you see that the plays on tape... we gotta stop here for a second. Trent M, much love within Australian?
Yeah,
I believe so. $2 holler.
Much love. Trent M in the house. I know him from the other chats. Appreciate him. He's a Cowboy representing all the way in Australia. Appreciate you, Trent. Got him on that board.
Oh, thank you, Trent.
Much
I
love.
appreciate
Go Cowboys.
So, kind of roll it back to what I was saying here.
Yes.
Shanahan said, as much as most coaches can. You can see the plays on tape. You can explain what we look at and stuff like that, which usually you can when you stack up a lot of tape over years. And we've been here for a while and previous. So hopefully he's talking to him hopefully he's talking to him all the time and making them focus totally on that instead of the simple stuff of watching the tape.
So again, you see how he's touched on that there about Trey Lance and how he can kind of maybe show some things that they have, who knows. But he was also asked how much of a challenge is it to go up against the man I just talked about here, guys, and Dan Quinn, our defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. What did he say?
He said, it's a huge challenge. Dan's as good as it gets. His schemes are always tough. He makes adjustments well, but the one thing that's always the same is how his guys play. Those 11 guys play with their hair on fire. They generate a lot of chaos, especially up front, and that's usually what leads them to getting other turnovers.
Again, talking big about our man Dan Quinn, as you know he would. Also, they asked him if it's tough facing someone they know so well. He knows, does Dan Quinn know what Shanahan's going to call sometimes?
Yeah, like does he know his tendencies or things like that? He said a little bit, but it's different when you're not in the division. At least it's not twice a year, unless you mean in the playoffs and stuff. I think Dan and I got to go against each other twice here in Dallas, and it's always a huge challenge.
Yeah, I agree there with what Shanahan's saying. It's going to be the real key to this game is who wins that defense-offensive situation. Now, what about the Patriots game? We just beat the Patriots. He was asked about that. What did the Cowboys do under this Dan Quinn defense? Was that something special? What are the Cowboys devising here through Dan Quinn? What did Shanahan say about that?
He said the same thing that they do to a lot of guys. When you get into some bad situations and stuff that the D-line is tough to handle, they can make you make a lot of mistakes. You've got to get rid of it quick sometimes, not always before you're ready. They mix up a lot of man coverages, a lot of zone coverages, and they can confuse you with that. When you're behind the chains and things like that, not just Sunday, but really for the last 3 years, they're as good as a team as any is when I've got one-dimensional creating turnovers and getting after the quarterback.
Yeah, it's just making a team one-dimensional. That's what Dan Quinn does. That's how he takes control of games. And then the rivalry between the Cowboys and Niners, something that he actually said he enjoyed. Shanahan bringing it back up here into the 21st century now. What did Shanahan say about this battle with the Cowboys, Dan Quinn, and the rivalry now between us?
Yeah, anytime you play each other in the playoffs and stuff, it's always usually a little bit bigger the next year. And with that being back-to-back, it was huge. That's why I always remembered growing up, just because of the 3 years I was here when I was younger. They played in the NFC Championship all 3 years that I lived here. So just playing them in the playoffs 2 years ago kind of was reminiscent of that, and it was a divisional round, I think, or wild card round. And then last year with the divisional round, those histories stack up just like people in your division. But usually, when it's a playoff team, everyone remembers it a little bit differently.
Well, I wiped the slate clean, new season. They didn't win the Super Bowl. We, of course, gotten bounced by them 2 years in a row. Let's get a little revenge now, and a lot of revenge in the playoffs so we see them again. That's what I'm voting for. Now, Micah Parsons spoke today, guys, and we're going to break his comments in a couple parts because we're going to talk about Micah and a little bit of the offense of the Niners because they're going to be seeing each other, I think, Micah and Brock Purdy and some others. And then we're going to talk about another comment by Micah Parsons about their running back, Christian McCaffrey. But let's start off with the man, Micah Parsons, who, again, we know he's been banged up a little bit. What did he say? We know he's limited. We know that he's, limited on the injury report. But we knew this from McCarthy. We knew this from his leg tweak that he had. Micah Parsons, how's he feeling today after having that ankle and knee looked at on Sunday?
He said it was definitely a banged-up game, but honestly, after getting my treatments, doing the extra work I need to do to get prepared for this game, I feel really great and high-spirited right now.
And, he also kind of switched it up, right, and said, about former players kind of ripping on current players. What did he say?
So he said, just for me, I'm all about just staying in it. And I just feel like so many times that the media just always says those negative things on certain players. And I just think it's almost like bullying online.
Look at Micah taking up for that. Good job. Micah also said that a kid, he was at a restaurant doing some charity promotional work, and he said that a kid told him all Dak Prescott does is throw interceptions. What did Micah say to that 10-year-old kid?
Micah said, I was like, what the hell? I said, parents, you got to get him off Twitter. Y'all got to realize the influence that the guys had in these platforms. Because listen, don't no tell-year-old telling me that my quarterback stinks.
That's interesting. Micah is like, I like it, sticking up for his QB.
And not even that, but the fact that like these general shitty narratives kind of get spread to the point where obviously younger people or more ignorant people or whatever can maybe fall for it and really genuinely take it as true.
Exactly. Yeah, you're seeing that trickle out through the kids from what the parents think about Dak Prescott. Shame. So, anyways, Micah then talked about the game. All right, we're talking about this game coming out with the Niners, and he talked about really a lot about Brock Purdy, and he said, I'm going to start it off for you, saying that he said that on the defense for the Cowboys versus Brock Purdy and his fantastic number one in efficiency, Brock Purdy. He said, Micah Parsons said, quote, "Something's gotta give." Now, he elaborated in this, his matchup with the Niners. What is he saying to do? What does he see in this matchup against the 49ers?
When a team tries to isolate you and tries to make you an example, saying, oh, you're going to run the game, ruin the game, it leaves guys to eat and do what they do. It's important. They're going to get paid because they're going to get theirs. And that's always important because it makes teams play honest.
Yeah, he's compared to Bosa a little bit, too. Of course, edge rushers, both of them, always in the Defensive Player of the Year running.
Micah said,
about being compared to him.
Yeah, he was asked, does it bother you or whatever? He said, not really. What Nick do, that's just what he do, and his skill set. From our side, I always see what they do, because sometimes it's crazy. So I always admire what other defenses do, and this is just Cowboys versus 49ers.
That is true. Now, talking more about this Niner game, he's ready for this, guys. Micah is ready. The defense is ready. What did he say about this Niner game specifically now, him versus them?
For sure. It was always a slugfest. These matchups are always going to be hard fought. I feel like they play us harder than anybody, and I definitely feel like it's going to be one of those games. I do love it. I've been tapped into my mode all week. I feel great. I'm ready to get after it right now. I really try to stay in my mode, but for games like this, because of how they look at it and how we look at it, it's one of the biggest stages. It's Cowboys versus 49ers.
Yeah, there's nothing better, is what he said on that. This little battle that's coming up. It is a rivalry at this point. It's a new we got to make it a rivalry, though. Let's be honest, right? We got to win.
I was just about to say,
we got to win.
Right now, we're getting our asses handed to us.
Right now, it's not. Yeah, it's not a rivalry right now. It's an ass kicking. So that shit's got to stop. I want to see more of kind of this kind of play right there on the night. Right, get the fuck out of here! Boom, and hit that ball. Make him make mistakes. Micah and this defense got to do that. That's the key here. So Micah Parsons, really ready for this game and this matchup against the Niners. He breaks down one more position here in a minute. But as you're seeing Micah Parsons do his thing, I'm going to talk about the offense here of the Niners. Okay? And I'm going to put up just a little bit here on Brock Purdy, for example, and talk about him real quick because Micah may be coming for him, but we have to, first things first here, and see why is this man so efficient. Number 13, Brock Purdy. The Niners, they have of course, what was he? What was the last player of the draft? The Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Last year, he was rookie, and took the team deep in the playoffs on the opposite side. And one thing we know about the Niners, based on this roster and the way it's constructed, they're not reliant on quarterback play. Shanahan and the stars around Purdy is what makes the thing chug along, right? When this offense goes, right? So what they need is a guy to not mess things up. Brock Purdy is the ultimate, kind of like game manager for Kyle Shanahan. Nothing wrong with this because it's working fantastic. The way that Jalen Hurts gets used in that weird kind of different way, well, it works, and they're getting to the Super Bowl. So the Niners, they almost got to the Super Bowl and it works with their non-quarterback reliant offense. So, he got sacked 3 times last week, trying to stand in the pocket against the Cardinals. And, Brock Purdy has only, talk about Dak's pass touchdowns, he's only thrown 4 touchdowns for Brock Purdy. Hasn't been a machine out there throwing the ball, guys. Only has thrown for 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. All right, maybe not the first game. But he is delivering the ball, throwing the ball to the elite players out there like Deebo Samuel, who's to me, he's a running back / receiver. George Kittle, one of the best tight ends, top 2 or 3. Brandon Ayuk, I'd say a top receiver in the mix right now when it comes to a number 1 or 2. And Christian McCaffrey. I mean, you see him right there, number 23, the leader in rushing yards this year and leading in running attempts. So, again, all these players can take over a game on their own. We're not even including their fucking offensive line, which is fucking powerhouse. We got the line. Micah's crawling back there to attack this offense. But let's break it down here a little bit better. With Brock Purdy, he's currently throwing for an average of 245 yards per game, has no interceptions. Like I said, number 1 in the NFL. 4 weeks, 0 interceptions for Brock Purdy. Dak has 1, forcing that one in the red zone. So Brock Purdy, 0 interceptions, and he's third. He's third currently in the NFL. Third in the NFL in completion percentage rate. He completes his passes this year 72%. That is extremely high. The Niners have only scored 5 passing touchdowns. And again, with all this that they got going on their offense, 5 touchdowns. That's it, 5 touchdowns in the air. When you look at their passing touchdowns, they have 5 of them. We have 4 passing touchdowns. So in the same amount of weeks, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, 5 touchdowns from the Niners, 4 from the Cowboys in the air, passing. So now, when I think a big part of this thing for the Niners and their offense is going to be establishing the run. And that's where I'm moving now from Brock Purdy, who is a game manager. He's not anything superior, but he is a very good game manager under Kyle Shanahan. We got that in mind. We talked about Micah, and he's going to be bringing it against Brock Purdy. So when you look at the running game, that is where the key lies in this game. Number 23, Christian McCaffrey, and the rest of their running backs, guys. The Niners have the more effective runner of both teams. The most effective runner in the game is going to be Christian McCaffrey, CMC. No denying McCaffrey is the biggest threat to the Cowboy defense. And probably the biggest threat we're going to face this season is Christian McCaffrey in any way. So this is going to be the ultimate test for our defense, our big D. So again, remember, McCaffrey can beat defenses in more ways than one. I got to keep saying this, guys. He's not just fast and explosive. Mm-hmm. He's also very powerful, tough to take down, and tough player, right? He's a rough, tough player. It adds to more problems than trying to defend him. He's the 4th on the team for the Niners, the 4th in receiving yardage. So he runs it, leading in the NFL, and he also is 4th best on the team in yardage in the air. He's going to kill us in the air. He's going to kill you on the ground. That's a major key we have to slay when it comes to these San Francisco 49ers. So keep that in mind, guys. 4th on the team in receiving yards. Hey, listen, he's 2nd on the team in receiving and catching first downs. He's number 2 on the team. This is a major player for them. We got to shut him down. So, again, you look at the running game, do not forget about number 19, Deebo Samuel. You know he'll always find his way, somehow always gets put in the backfield. They do some kind of jet sweep with him. They get the ball in his hands. Number 19 is going to get that ball in the running back spot or as a running play for him at least a couple of times every game, and definitely a couple of times this game. He'll get some sneaky rush yards, handoffs, some on pitches, some on reverses, some on jet sweeps. Get ready. So to stop the run, it's not just Christian McCaffrey, but he's obviously the main piece there, right? The Niners are facing a Cowboy defense that has only allowed 53 yards. Last week, we held them under 60 to the Patriots. With Stevenson and Zeke, they both got a combined 53 yards rushing. So when you throw in there Elijah Mitchell, who's banged up, he hasn't practiced, he might not play this game. Elijah Mitchell was absent with that knee injury last week, so keep an eye on him. Again, he missed his practice today, but it's only the first day. Still unknown whether he's going to be able to play. And you have to another guy step up here if he's out. Jordan Mason or Kyle Juszczyk, fullback, will have to take some of those placement handoffs that you'll be missing from, an Elijah Mitchell. All right, so you got to throw in there Juszczyk or Mason, Jordan Mason, to take over those, maybe 12, 13 snaps that he may have, or he may had if he wasn't, of course, missing this game. We'll see what happens with Elijah Mitchell. But when you look at depth for the Niners, they're really good there. McCaffrey leads the NFL in rushing yards, second among running backs in receiving yards in the NFL. And you throw in there Deebo Samuel, Juszczyk, fullback. This is a very dangerous running team that we're going up against here. I mean, take a look at this, guys. Christian McCaffrey, as the starting running back for the Niners when he came over here last year. You know what he is? Since he came to the Niners, as a starter for the Niners are 14-0 in the regular season. From last year, so 10 in a row, and then 4 more this year.
A really big impact.
Yeah, he's their catalyst there. Listen, Christian McCaffrey also has 1,748 scrimmage yards and 17 touchdowns during that time frame, those 14 games. And a passing touchdown as well, by the way. He threw one. So I'm just saying, Christian McCaffrey is someone we got to keep it. He is like, if we can slow him down, we got a real good chance to win the game. And Micah Parsons is watching him. This is some of Micah here, kind of saying his 2 cents on the situation. This is where he speaks on Christian McCaffrey. He had a lot of high praise for him. Again, leading the NFL in scrimmage yards, tied in the league for touchdowns when it comes to Christian McCaffrey. Number 1 in rushing yards. What did Micah Parsons, the Lion, you see him right behind Christian McCaffrey. What did he have to say about Christian McCaffrey?
He's the most versatile back in the NFL when it comes to how the 49ers use him. You can almost say that he's a running back that plays receiver. And you can say he's a receiver that plays running back. The way he gets open, the way you can't just put anybody on him. Sometimes you might want to put a DB on him with just how good he is with his routes and things like that. And how dynamic he is and the way he's able to make people miss. I mean, there's probably nothing better in the NFL. You know what he does. You look at what he does and how explosive he is. It's something that we've got to be watchful for.
100% agree with Micah Parsons, baby. If we don't slow down Christian McCaffrey and just the overall run game, we're in trouble. Long game for us this time. So that's one thing. But how about their offensive line? Because McCaffrey can't do this on his own. In the passing game, a little different, but in the run game, he's got to have blocking. So for the Niners, they have an offensive line that's pretty damn effective. They've only given up 32 pressures in the 4 games this season. Trent Williams, one of the best in the NFL, a tackle, one of the best offensive linemen in general. Between the Cowboys and you add up all our great guys, Trent Williams might be better than all of them, believe it or not. But either way, Trent Williams, among the best offensive linemen in the league, has given up only 3 pressures this year. So, and that's where Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence are going to be coming from, guys. Now, keep one thing in note, though, guys. He also has 4 penalties in 4 games, which is rare for Trent Williams. Maybe he's getting a little older. A little Micah Parsons is going to cause more penalties. So keep an eye on that, that tackle position there, left tackle Trent Williams. Now, again, one of the best, though. Let's be real about this. Now, Terrence Steele on our side, of course, we look about our offense, just an example, has the most penalties in this offensive line, combined both teams here. But the plan or the plays to attack the Niners off defensive line, like we said yesterday, was their right side. What about us? Well, their right tackle, Colton McKivitz, has given up the most pressures and the most sacks. And behind him on the Niners is right guard, Spencer Burford. They're not, again, both aren't giving up a lot of pressure. They're giving up the most pressure. So, even though our offensive line is pretty good, and when I go to my video here of Micah Parsons, last year, the first one you see is the playoff game, boom, taking McGlinchey and flicking him around. That's their right tackle. This year, guys, like I said, Colton McKivitz is their right tackle, and he's given up the most pressures and the most sacks in the NFL right now. So, and right there behind him on the overall list is, I guess maybe he is the given the most sacks on the team, and right behind him is Spencer Buford. My point is, the right side of the Niners is where you want to pass rush them. All right? So
is that their weaker?
Well, that's the right side. Yeah, Trent Williams on the left side. So the right side, you want to attack McKivitz at right tackle, Colton McKivitz. You want to attack Spencer Buford at right guard. Run game, they might be better, but at pass protection, they falter there. That's their weaknesses on their offensive line. We got to attack it. But here's the difference, though. How often are they going to pass the ball? If they run the ball to Deebo Samuel, have other packages to run a use check and others, and run the ball if Elijah Mitchell's out there. But either way, we know 23 is getting the ball a lot, running that ball. If they're getting that ball to McCaffrey, look at what we did last year when it comes to the discipline that we had on edge containment versus the Niners in the playoffs. I thought the first year in the playoffs in Dallas, Cowboys blew the edge multiple times. But last year, the Cowboys played a lot better in maintaining that setting the edge situation for the run game and slowing down their running game, whoever it was, including, of course, McCaffrey himself. So, again, it was a clear understanding of what you wanted to do to it, and the Dan Quinn execution worked with the players. It worked very well, translation of practicing that all week to move along with their blocking and be able to still move with their run assignments as that zone blocking is taking place for the Niners. So, the Niners, they love to get a convoy of blockers out there for their running backs, whoever it is, specifically for Deebo Samuel, and of course, number 23, Christian McCaffrey. So the Cowboys, though, last year, not 2 years ago, but last year, much improved on that, much better. And again, we let a couple scores go, but a lot of that was good field position for the Niners. The defense played solid outside of missing an interception by Trayvon Diggs. Defense played damn good, and we held them to 19 points. So again, you guys see the Cowboys attack the ball when they go those quick passes we've talked about here, the Niners do on offense. Those quick screens. Cowboys have to be there quickly and stop. That's why Damone Clark, I'm watching you. I got to make sure he's going to be good for this game because he's banged up with an injury. So I'm watching all these guys. Now, kind of looking at, as we move on, we just went from Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and the running backs. We talked about the offensive linemen. J-Ron Curse is going to play a major role in this game because number 85 at tight end there, George Kittle, he's a guy that, you got to keep an eye on the entire game. Now, I'm not so worried about George Kittle. Listen, I'm not overlooking him. It's not about George Kittle. It's about J-Ron Curse. And J-Ron Curse locks down mofos out there. Now, J-Ron Curse is a lockdown kind of a guy on tight ends. Not last week. He did it last week, but not just this year. Since he's been in Dallas, under Dan Quinn, 2 years plus, he's been locked down on the tight end position. So, baby, I know J-Ron Curse did speak today, and he's just basically saying this is gonna be a battle, no matter what team, how good or bad they are. Again, no matter how good or bad you are. As far as a team, you could be the Cardinals, you could be the Niners. You got to go out there and really, not overlook anyone. Yeah, but not overlook anyone.
Lots of Cowboys kind of implied that they definitely looked over the Cardinals last week and just didn't take it as seriously. So we definitely saw that in the way things ended up being executed, right? So Let's hear from J-Ron Curse, who said, quote, "I think if you turn the football game on any given Sunday, any given team, top of the league or bottom of the league, it doesn't really matter. There are going to be opportunities to make plays. A lot of teams make those plays more than some teams. I just feel like we're one of those teams that make more plays than most sometimes. So they put the ball in harm's way, and we have to do our job to take it away."
And again, we saw the video of Micah Parsons knocking the ball out. We didn't get an interception there. Trayvon Diggs hit him in the hands in the end zone. He didn't get the pick. Couldn't make the play there. There was a 3rd and long, and it was a bad, miss by the refs on that. But Trayvon Diggs kind of didn't go for the hit there. Kittle got a big 3rd down conversion. And just like all these things, those are the opportunities right there in front of you, and you let it slip away. So Curse knows. Last year he cried after this game we lost to the Niners. True Cowboy right here in J-Ron Curse, but he knows we got to come here and be able to be more, I don't say opportunistic, but when the opportunity presents itself, we have to get that fumble. We got to recover it. We got to get that sack. We got to get that strip. We got to make sure we get that pick and take it as far as you can. Take it, pick 6 if you can. So he also kept talking more about this, and kind of putting it on prime time. Cowboys, Niners, the rivalry. What did he say?
He said, "I think everybody knew what this game would be. Putting it on Sunday Night Football, they knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
They knew the type of magnitude that this game would be at when we played these guys, and it's here now. Guys are locked in, but we aren't doing anything different. Guys aren't tensed up. We know if we go out there and play our football, we have a great shot at winning this game."
Yeah, so J-Ron Curse did amazing against a very solid tight end group last week with the Patriots. But that was their main way of trying to move the ball, honestly. Mike Gesicki, he covered him very well. He had one catch on him, a crazy catch, and he had a penalty on him too. And I know he also let one go to the other tight end. But who's their other tight end there? I don't know. Anyways, the point is he had like 2 allowances on him. But listen, J-Ron Curse locks. That's all they got. They got 1 catch each. This week he has the biggest challenge of the season for him and George Kittle. We stopped them, though, the last 2 years, and it was J-Ron Curse doing that. So, again, this season, though, Kittle currently ranks 3rd in receptions and 3rd in receiving yards on the Niners roster, but he has also yet to score a touchdown. So not having a very good kickoff to his season right now for number 85, George Kittle. Kittle is a strong, physical tight end, can great blocker, gets great leverage on blocks, and again, he makes, a great H-type of tight end. We've watched Kittle against the Cowboys. He come off the ball efficient, pad level, blocking, striking defenders, sending them backwards. So he will always have good leverage, and you'll see him blocking well. We talked about how they want to use their offensive line. Kittle's part of that offensive line when they're run blocking. So he's major there. That's really, we have to account for him this weekend, in the run block side of things, and break that shit. We got to send a missile in there and break him out, push the zone blocking backwards and make sure he gets off his block. Either way, though, the question is his weakness for George Kittle. Right now, his route breaks are not as crisp and clean and are sometimes predictable. So if we're watching it and got our keys right, you may see Kittle being, maybe getting jumped on a route and Purdy throwing a pick or an easier knockdown play or knock-up play and maybe getting the pick that way. So, again, the Cowboys got to keep an eye on Kittle. I think Curse is the main guy going to watch him. A lot of preparation this week for the Cowboys, watching his routes on tape, should result in a lot of J-Ron Curse and other safeties out there, Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. He's also banged up. We got to watch for that. But basically, those guys will be watching and maybe getting to the ball quicker than Kittle will. We'll see what happens. But this puts Purdy into a second-guess mode. If he does that, we're getting sacks. He gets that, he's going to make mistakes. Remember, guys, Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And really, out of all the offensive battles here, for us, Kittle is the guy we have to watch against coming off in this game against us here. When you look at, who's the guy we got to kind of always watch in the run game and pass game, McCaffrey's number 1. Deebo Samuel's right there. George Kittle, part of the blocking side of things, on top of, in the run game and catching the ball and, blocking. We know he's the top 3 guy right now as the tight end. So, again, when you look at the receivers, we know we're going to touch on, of course, number 19, Deebo Samuel. The Niners have a lot of guys right now, and I'm gonna say this in a minute. Who's gonna need to step up here? But Brandon Ayuk, all right, he's not pictured here, but he's leading the Niners in receiving yards and sits just right above CeeDee Lamb in the wide receiver rankings with 320 yards. What makes Brandon Ayuk really dangerous is his run after the catch skills. So Brandon Ayuk, you got to keep an eye on him. The moment the ball gets in his hands, he kind of gets a speed burst and he extends the distance and separation he has over the defender. And he hits the open space with incredible burst, athletic skills. He represents really the big play threat. Or I would say I guess for the Cowboys to watch him as the big play threat for the Niners. He's also, let me say this, well, his negatives are similar to George Kittle's, is that when he runs his routes, he's predictable sometimes, guys. All right? Hard to contain on the corners, yes. But he is predictable as a route runner. And again, recently he's gotten better, which is a good thing for him, but he's not a speed burner when he's running his routes. He can pull away, but he's got that burst. But Brandon Ayuk does not have that speed to kind of, have his routes be, not run great and still be able to pull away. That's not going to happen. So worrying about the deep threat with him is not something that the Cowboys will be worried about. The big play, yes. Deep threat, no. The yak must be stopped. We must make tackles. Can't do the Garrett Wilson situation out there like we have with the Jets. Deebo Samuel played last week, but I got to remind everybody he has a rib injury and a knee injury, which has slowed him down. The coaches for the Niners played him cautiously and had him kind of a lot less snaps last week. So we're watching him in the practice report. Didn't practice today. We'll keep an eye on him. He is their Swiss Army knife, Deebo Samuel. Another guy who thrives once the ball's in his hands. The coaches and the scheme, the coaches scheme him. Shanahan schemes him in multiple ways to get the ball in his hands and take advantage. Kind of what I think we should do in the red zone with some of our guys. So, when you look at the situation for Deebo Samuel, he can not only just play running back or outside receiver, he plays a slot or on the outside of running the ball. And he is a running back when he runs that ball. He's also, that's one of the biggest issues, though, because he runs the ball so much. Sometimes if they overuse him, it becomes unsustainable for him to last the season, last the game sometimes. So they have to measure the way they use him. Already he's banged up. So they're not going to use him crazily, I think, in this game against the Cowboys all over the place. You get a couple snaps at running back. But overall, he's going to get, I think, a more kind of caretaken kind of reps here in this game against the Cowboys. They're going to probably play him safe. And when you play him safe, it removes his best ability, which is to be able to line up anywhere on the offense. Now, Jawan Jennings, who's injured right now, is their third receiver. He's out with that leg injury. He's supposedly going to practice, although today he was out. Oh, he was limited in practice today. But keep an eye on him. He might not be 100% even for the game. So the Niners are not. They'll have the good numbers in the NFL when it comes to passing yards or receiving yards or stats, I guess you can say. But that is, I guess, passing stats and receiving stats. Why? Two things: efficiency on offense, quick passes, right? And they have a very solid defense. Now, Ayuk versus CeeDee Lamb, if you look at that battle, obviously we know Lamb is the better receiver, but Ayuk is dangerous, big play yak guy. And McCaffrey, do not forget about Christian McCaffrey in the receiving side of things, because he's the kind of guy who will take it and go. Again,
Micah said it earlier.
Yeah,
right?
Yep. So you gotta watch in the passing game. A lot of guys to watch. As we wrap it up, there's one guy's going to help us slow this down. Of course, we got Stephon Gilmore, got Jordan Lewis. We got others in here, the safeties I mentioned. But what about the man who was the man of the team last week, the player of the game, DaRon Bland? He steps up. Let me say something about DaRon Bland real quick. Is he an All-Pro? Is he going to be in a Pro Bowl this year? First interception. First, he's number one in interceptions since 2023, of course, this year. Tied with Jordan Whitehead from the Jets and Jesse Bates from the Falcons. All three guys, including DaRon Bland, have 3 interceptions. That's number one for this season.
Way to go, Bland.
But as we said, he also has the most since 2022. So right now, DaRon Bland, the most interceptions since 2022, the most interceptions since 2023. Think about that for a second. Also, he's number one in interceptions. I'm sorry, no, he already said that, but I'm sorry. I'm going to say this here. When it comes to the tackling situation for DaRon Bland, he's done a great job. He has 12 solo tackles, 1 assisted tackle, 4 run stops. So he's involved in the run game as well, guys. Only has 2 missed tackles in 4 games. Of course, has those 3 interceptions. You know his passer rating allowed on him? 34.5 passer rating. And the yards per reception, unfortunately, it's 11.1 because of 2 or 3 big plays on him. But outside of that, man, DaRon Bland has been a lockdown city outside of that first quarter and a half this year on the outside cornerback against the Cardinals. So, baby, I think he actually said a couple things. I think he said a couple of things that he's excited to return home. You know, he's from California. I'm pretty sure he's from Modesto, California. And he honed his football skills at Central Catholic High School. And, he earned honors there at Valley Oak League as a Defensive Player of the Year as a senior. And then he enrolled in Sacramento State in 2017. When he lands in this game against Santa Clara for the Niner game on Sunday, that's about 2 hours, less than 2 hours away from where he attended high school and college. And everything, again, guys, will be very familiar for DaRon Bland when he gets there at Levi Field, which is, the game coming around the corner. Now, going back to Cali, LL Cool J style, Notorious B.I.G. style, and he's got a shitload of tickets and requests from friends and family, and more than he can keep a track of.
Yeah,
right?
He said a lot. I can't even count them.
Now, again, when you see his excitement here, landing back in Cali, what else did he say, baby?
Oh, he said, he's asked, is this going to feel familiar? He said, definitely. I was away from home a lot of years, so I'm heading back home now. It'll be comfortable being there. It's definitely, emotional. So it's the one time when everybody can come out, see me play in the games.
The whole family.
The motivation
and friends, right?
is always there, but the last 2 years with them beating us to the playoffs, so there's always motivation.
There you go. So now Bland's ready. Again, quickie there from him, just saying he's ready for this game back home. And, hey, he'll be having to cover guys like Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, number 19 there. So I'm ready for this game. We took a look at the offense, broke it down, matchups and everything will be coming, key matchups, keys to victory. That's coming Friday, Saturday. Tomorrow, on Thursday, we're going to be having the reverse now. We're going to have our offense versus their defense. And damn, it's a tough defense. You see how we stack up with them. It's a tough battle. Just our defense versus their offense is a tough battle for both teams. But the other way around can be said about their defense versus our offense. They might have us here. It's going to be important to break this one down tomorrow as we take a deeper dive on the flip side of things. We talked about our defense versus their offense tomorrow. Our offense versus their D. Texas Coast. So, baby, any quick comments on this as we do the shout-outs and combination of shout-outs and comments on the way out?
Let me see. Kelly Presley said, Cowboys have to play with discipline. No penalties, no late hits, no holdings. Don't give the refs a reason. We can't help San Francisco.
Exactly. No dumb penalties today. If we do in this game, if we do dumb penalties, it gives them second chances, third chances. We do that, it's a recipe for disaster.
So, let me see. Wake Up Jacob saying, Bland played at Fresno State. Yep.
We predicted him. We wanted him in January before that draft. Like 4 months before the draft. We love
Thomas Garrett, the superior. Garrett, much love. Yeah, backing that up. As Modi said, Bland worked the kinks out against the Cards. Now he's business as usual.
That first quarter and a half, having issues, been fantastic since then. Fantastic.
Stone Immaculate 2 said, long drives and great defense can win this game. Keep the 49ers offense on the sidelines watching the game, and it keeps the Cowboys defense rested.
Very true. Exactly. It all helps. It all comes back around, and it helps if the Cowboys can, continue to have those long drives, help all sides of things. Just put it in the goddamn end zone, the red zone, please.
And Cactus G in the place to be. Let's see. E-Me. Fuego 2.0. Stone Immaculate. I'm just trying to make sure I shout out everyone here. Cleveland Brown, Drums and Cowboys, much love. Mike Aldana, Kesley Pritchell, Eric Black.
In the house, old school.
That's about as far back as I can go as far as the back part. So let me come back down here to Lunatic saying, remember this D-line formation. Tank at right defensive edge, Lawrence is left, with Micah attacking the center.
Yes, I agree. Cowboys do that a lot with Micah Parsons. They want to strain the center.
Kind of stunt moves with Micah where, again, he looks like he's lining up on the outside.
And bounces in. Mm-hmm. And, the thing is, the Cowboys, with Micah Parsons over center, over guard, that creates a strain from the offensive line, and they don't really sometimes know how to handle that. That makes everybody's job around them so much easier. I agree with that lineup. Where they're on a passing down, I can see that being Fowler instead of Armstrong. On a running down, 100% right. even just to strain the center on a run blocking play. They got to keep moving Micah around, or they're going to target him, and they're going to triple block him and send him 5 yards backwards, and he'll be worn down by the end of the game. So we need Micah to be moved around, make it harder for them to find him and target. They want to run left? Well, maybe Micah's going to move to the right side this time.
Yeah.
You know? So
thank you, Jason Renfro, by the way, with the $1. Holler. Go Cowboys.
Much love. Marco Seppian drops to 72 on that stream, boss. Much love to you, Jason, as he's close to... No, he's still not there yet, but he's getting closer and closer. To Kevin, I think there. Kevin Richard, right? Yeah, Kevin Richards there, who's a couple up on him. So, much love to Jason Renfro. Much love to everybody in the house. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Any last thoughts or comments maybe before we rock it out? Any last shout-outs in there?
I think we did all the shout-outs here for everybody. Jason Renfro, Fuego, WTP Niners, Justin D, Chalk to Montana 08.
Yeah, Montana.
Yeah, Montana. I will say that thankfully at least WTP is not saying anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
Yeah, obviously we have some 49er fans that have a highly inflated ego.
Yeah, they don't listen. They're on top of the world. They haven't faced a defense like ours. Let's just be honest about that. And so we'll see how good their offense is.
We continue to break down parts of this 49ers team. We get a deeper look into our injury situation. You know, seeing how we continue to progress there, and of course, a huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us.
Yeah, I mean, you see at the bottom right, the Lunatics raffle. Much love to him. I'm going to shout him out real quick.
Shout out as well to our sponsor of the week, Marco Seppian.
Yes.
Also the boss of the stream.
Yes, he is.
And the Cash App King.
You know who it is.
8 weeks in a row.
SnugX. Will he have it another one? I don't know yet, but the leader currently is the Lunatic, who has a raffle here. $10 to get in. Thanks button, PayPal, Cash App, however. You guys can get in. You guys are in. If you're in the membership, you get a second raffle entry. And there you go. Double jersey raffle. That means you can win one. There's going to be 2 raffles going on, 2 different jerseys of your choice, and 2 different winners. So good luck to all who are in that right now as we're building up.
Yeah, Jason Renfro, I'm not sure where you're at as far as the...
Oh, he's in the raffle. And he's in the membership. So as long as that stays to the day...
And there you go.
He's got it, man. Yeah. So he's got 2 raffle entries in this one. Much love to Jason Renfro cracking that open. Now, as we move on from here, you did the shout out. Much love to the gifting champ, which is Jason Renfro. Much love to the gifting leader right now, which is pretty sure it's Skeptical Fan, right? I think so. Oh, the Lunatic, actually with a tie with Skeptical Fan. Much love to those guys. And the overall leader right now, you see it right above my head. Skeptical Fan in first place currently on the top of the board. The Lunatic right behind him. So, baby. Now, on that note, please let us know why we do this here on MCF each and every night.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly, we rep that star over everything here on MCF. 6 years and beyond on YouTube here on My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here now and forever, as always. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Guys, thank you for dropping that knowledge in the chat all night long. Cannot do that and do this on the nightly without your support in there and giving us some ideas and thoughts about our Cowboys. Also, can't do that without your drops of love from above. Yes, those that dropped the love tonight: Jason Renfro, the Lunatic, Justin D with a gifting membership, Skeptical Fan, Mary Alvarez, and Trent M from Australia. Thank you, guys. We want that 6 and beyond. Now we got to clock out and drop out for the night before we can relock and reload tomorrow for some more. My Cowboys Family breaking down their offense. Breaking down their defense with our offense. Wayne Montgomery getting a membership. Why? Jason Renfro said, "Hold up." Gifting another one here, guys. Much love to Jason Renfro.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, second one of the night here.
Congrats to you, Wayne. Drop him if you got him.
Yep, he's second one of the night, which means that he also has 2 on that board for the week. Much love to Jason Renfro. Congrats to Wayne Montgomery, an old schooler here. I see Eric Black also. Let's go. Old school. He's one of our, I think he was on our first game day live stream, the first comment in it. I'll never forget that. And he's one of my guys from before even YouTube. So much love to Eric Black in the house. And everybody here with us, dropping the knowledge, dropping the love from above. But baby, now that it's time to get on out of here for the night, before we can come back tomorrow relocked and reloaded on a breakdown of the Niners defense from our offensive side of things and standpoint schemes and on, what do we got to do here tonight before we drop out of here?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped, guys. Thank you for rocking with us here on My Cowboys Family once again for another Cowboys. Chat. Wrap up of the night, guys. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and remember what we discussed here about our defense versus their offense. The king, the lion, the man, Micah Parsons. We talked about him in detail. Again, other guys here that are factors to the game. You see the matchups would need to be won here. Stopping the run, McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels. A lot of that is going to be taking up blockers like, Mr. Jonathan Hankins. Of course, when they look to try to get that ball to the tight end and Kittle, you got Ron Curse, number 1, keeping his eyes on him, and then DeRon Bland. The rest of the cornerbacks watching their receivers, Ayuk, and guys like McCaffrey at the backfield, and of course Deebo Samuel. We talked about it all. We know what the fucking thing we got to do here for our defense versus their offense got to do. We're going to talk about the key matchups very near in the future here, guys, on MyCowboysFamily. Keys to victory. The matchups are important on both sides of the ball. Tomorrow's the defense. Tonight, it's about the MCF, Navy Blue, Silver 2, star over everything. And never, ever forget the number one thing here on MyCowboysFamily. Much love to everyone in the house. Hit the like, sub it up, hit that notification bell, follow us on Twitter and on, guys. Have a safe and great rest of your night. See you tomorrow for that Thursday live stream. Peace, much love, and never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.